So hello guys, so here's the next question for the lead code, that is problem of the day. So that is zero array transformation, that is the part 2. Okay, so if you have done part 1, then you will get the basically a good approach. Okay, so in part 1 basically here -1 was given. Okay, so in this value is given basically what we have to subtract. Okay, so what we have to do in this question, we have to basically we have given nums array and a queries array. Okay, so what we have to do in queries, three values are there. That query is a 2D basically array. So at every index three values are, at every index one array is given. There is three values, that is first left, that is right, and third value. Okay, so left and right means that in this array from left to right we have to subtract this value, that is value. Okay, and we have to apply these queries from all, basically we can apply till this nums array becomes 0. Okay, so if after applying any queries, okay, we have to basically return the minimum number of queries that we have applied, or minimum operations to make this array 0. Okay, so if it didn't become basically 0, don't become 0 after applying any all queries, then we have to simply return -1. Okay, so we have to apply these queries. Let's just understand and let's just take this and you will get it how basically the question is saying. Okay, so let's just take it. Okay, so okay, so here's the basically the nums array and queries. Okay, so what we have to do in first, as given in query, first query is 0 to 2, so we have to subtract 1. Okay, so if you see in the array 0 to 2 means 0 index is this and 2 index is this, so we have to subtract 1 from every position. Basically this value means that we have to subtract 1, or we can subtract 0 also. Basically this means at most. Okay, so the question here is written that simply here is written we have to subtract at most. Okay, at most value here you can see at most value, that is if the value is 3, we can subtract 2 also. Okay, so or 1 also. Okay, so that's the main thing. Okay, so here it is written 1, so we will what we will do, we will simply subtract. Let's just create. Okay, after first query, so the first after first query, then it simply would like this. Okay, so this. Okay, after first query, because 1 will be subtracted from 0 to 2 element. Okay, okay, so 0 to 2 means basically all these elements. Okay, so we have subtracted 1 from this and this. Okay, and then what we have to do, we have to subtract then again this 0 to 2, and this 1 is subtracted from first 0 index to second index. Okay, and we can again subtract it, and this will simply become 0 this time. Okay, and we don't have to go on the third basically query, and that's why the answer was 2, because in 2 operation the basically array becomes 0 array. Okay, so this you can see this first operation, second operation, these 2 queries only we have applied. That's why here the output is 2. So you basically got the question, what the question is saying and what we have to do. So our first approach, if you think of brute force, that could be simply if we apply every time one query at this nums, and we can simply count the value that how many times we have applied. Okay, so basically this is the approach, and this is very good approach. Okay, we will do it, but basically applying every query and basically then checking for this can simply take many, basically much time, and space complexity would be higher. So to basically not checking linearly at query, we can simply use binary search to check. That is, if we take from here, that is if low is here and high is here, then mid will be here, then we will simply check these two. Okay, till mid. Okay, not till all. Okay, we will check if these till mid can basically become, can make this array 0, then we can simply return this basically values. Okay, So you got the thing. Basically, we are just optimizing our brute force with binary search to not iterating all the queries one by one, basically, है ना? Basically, and we will simply use binary search to optimize our approach. Okay, so that's the main approach what we are going to use. Okay, basically we will apply basically queries like from here to here that we are seeing. Okay, so what we will do basically, we will create a difference array. Okay, difference array that is basically of first we will create that is of 0. Okay, that will simply contain n plus 1. Okay, that is n plus 1 means the n is basically array size. We will create n plus 1 size. Okay, so n plus 1 so that we can take all the 3 in this. Okay, so basically what we are going to use, we are going to use prefix array, prefix sum, and this difference array to basically check if this query, if any query is making this basically 0 or not. Okay, basically subtracting or okay. So what we'll do basically, every time a query will come, we will simply subtract this one. That is for first query this value 1 would be there, and we will subtract this value 1 from this 0 and this second position. Basically subtract and add. So for at first position we will add. So simply this will basically becomes this, if we say this will simply become 1. Okay, and we will subtract at second position by my 1. Okay, so simply it will simply become minus 1. Okay, after applying first query, so we have seen that we were applying binary search, so mid would be here, so simply we will apply these two. Okay, so simply these two query. Okay, so first we have applied, then second we will apply it, then again we will simply, what we'll do, we will simply subtract, we will add 1 to the 0th index. Okay, so let's just add, then it will simply become 2. Okay, and we will subtract. Okay, and this will simply become minus 2. Okay, then every time, then after basically this operation, like if you see after these applying queries, what we will do, basically what we will do, we will calculate prefix sum. Okay, okay, so then we what we do, okay, so then what we do, we will calculate the prefix sum on this difference array. Okay, so if any time this sum, basically prefix sum, that is basically that we will calculate is basically smaller than this nums of this index, basically integer, then we will simply return false. And basically if it is, basically we will create another function that will simply check if the that can become, basically query can make 0. Okay, so that will simply return false. If it is not, then simply we will simply return true, because it can simply make 0. If you add them, the 2 minus 2 all the are becoming 0. Okay, so simply we can say this will make 0. Okay, so you can also basically see here that this 2 minus 2, that simply making 0. Okay, you can see. So that's the basically approach. We will see the approach in Leetcode also. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so here's the basically approach I have written. So here you can see we have applied the binary search, that is we have formed the scan from 0 array, that is basically function that is simply check if the queries can become 0 or not. Okay, so after applying queries, the basically the it can form 0, the array can form 0 or not. Okay, so it will simply, if it is not, then it will simply return -1. This is the basically, you can see binary approach, binary search, that can simply check for every query. And okay, and you can see here's the scan from 0 array. Okay, function that will simply start is this, end is this, and value is this. We are every time adding the start and subtracting from end, and we are at last using prefix sum. Okay, if sum is smaller than this, okay, then we are returning false. If it is greater, then simply we are, or greater than or equals to 0, equals to sum, we are returning true. So you can simply run it. So yeah, that's the code. Okay, so